This is an impromptu live, one we didn't plan to do. In fact, Jordan's on the phone with the cruise line right now because he's helping a client out. So I am with you right now. Jordan might join a little bit later. We have a lot of exciting news to share about Icon of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's and world's largest cruise ship, coming out sometime. We aren't exactly sure the details on exact first sailing. We also don't know exact details on first bookings, although there's a lot of rumors out there. We're going to go through what we know as well as what happened last night, which was pretty exciting for any actual fans out there of Royal Caribbean, of cruising in general, of cruise ships, anyone that is interested in cruising. Let me just tell you, there's going to be a lot of firsts on Icon of the Seas, and the things that we have to look forward to are incredible. I know a lot of people are going to be watching this on the replay for a lot of information. We have a lot of amazing JJ crew out there that are joining right now. Thank you so much for being here. This is exciting news. If you don't know where we are, we're on our trip around the world. This is the wake of Celebrity Eclipse. So definitely in the brand, the family brand of Royal Caribbean Group or Royal Caribbean International. But awesome time in New Zealand, heading to Sydney right now, and then we're gonna go do a whole trip around New Zealand as well. So that's just an update of where I'm at and why there's a wake behind me, because I'm cruising. So glad you're all able to join us. Lots of hellos to Mo Boogie, William, Beachy Mama, Q's Cruisers in the house. Thanks for being there. One of our great mods, Stacy Brown, Tony G, Mark the Shark, Nikki W, Ben Laren, Felicia, Crystal's in the house. Law Jones, Icon News is correct. That's why we're here, and I'm just gonna give a few minutes to let people come in. We already have over 60 people that joined right away, so wanted to make sure everyone has a chance before we get into some of this news, because I have a lot of inside details here of what happened last night and what was released with it. Lori Disselberg, Lady Kiwi, hello darlings to you back. Linda, Moonlight Adventures, Pilar, hi, how are you in chilly Florida? It is warm and gorgeous here. In fact, I have a little bit of a hoodie on. I don't think I need it, although it doesn't have any sleeves, so it's okay. Kenneth here in the house, Marianne, William Farmer again, Paul, thank you so much. Shirley Barron in the house as well. Doreen, thank you so much to everyone for joining here. So this is gonna be a lot of new information. Obviously, I don't know everything. I'll try to answer any questions for anyone that has information or wants information, but these details, whew, first and foremost, they shouldn't call it Icon of the Seas. They should call it the first of the seas, because almost everything on this list that was just released is the first, the largest, or the best. Obviously, part of that might be marketing, but they really are going in on the largest, the biggest, the first at sea, and we're excited. We're very, very excited. This is breaking news, so there's gonna be a lot of content out there, but wanted to get out there and make sure you know what we know. First and foremost, the reason we know any of this is because we were watching, as most of the world was watching, to see if anything would drop before the actual release. If you need to be in the know and actually read everything and anything, feel free to sign up on Royal Caribbean. They have a place where you can sign up for a newsletter and be the first to know when it comes out. Central location here. I was on the Sunset Bar because I think that's a really nice location. But don't worry, I am on the move to make sure we have the best Wi-Fi possible. So let's talk about how this came about. First and foremost, this came through a public release on their site. We were actually in the middle of our show last night. In a live comedy show. So funny because it's in the middle of the morning for most of you in the States and in North America. But I will say this release was not expected. This was definitely somebody that jumped the gun a little bit probably. And so a lot of this information was not supposed to be out there this early. Of course, it's public information. It was on the public website, so nothing behind the scenes as in I have some secret person in the background or anything like that telling me information I shouldn't know. This is all public information out there, and that's why you're gonna see a lot of content coming out probably today and tomorrow about this. I'm glad that's a lot better. Thank you for confirming that here. I'm gonna just go ahead and come over here, see if it stays really good right here. I might even put myself down on the inside here, right here. Let me make sure that this is okay. Is this okay for everyone? Everyone's got a good reception, good signal? If so, I'm gonna put myself in a little nook, because that won't have as much wind. Oh, that was a lot of wind. All right, one more second. Just gonna go down one floor, actually up one floor. So, April 4th main voyage is what some people had saw online. That's not necessarily gonna be the case. Most likely there was one sailing put out there for 2024. So thank you for putting that in there, and that's not actual reality. So I wanna make sure people understand that, because obviously a lot of people thought that too. What we hear is it can be anywhere from mid-October into December to, obviously, like you said, April. We have some information that it might even be the very beginning of 2024. But once again, none of this is confirmed for the actual sail date. So that's why we want to stay away from inaugurals or first ever sailing. Those are the things we want to stay away from. Let's get into what we do know. Oh, Paul said not April 4th. Yeah, a lot of people are putting that information out there. And that would be very shocking, because there's a lot of other information saying otherwise. So first and foremost, yeah, this is a good spot, good. I mean, there's a phone here, but it's got great Wi-Fi. Maybe it's the phone, I don't know. First and foremost, what is brand new? And I know that's gonna be the thing that people really wanna know here. So thank you for the thumbs up, thank you for the subscribes, make sure you're subscribed. But first and foremost, this Aquadome. It's called Aquadome. It is gonna be where the Aqua Theater is, but in a whole new location. Some of you probably have already seen the renderings here, that it's not in the aft, it's not on the boardwalk. If you're familiar with Oasis class, it's not there, it's somewhere else on the ship. Well, this Aquadome is gonna be the largest aqua theater out there. It's gonna be in a circular formation, something that we like to call in the round in the theater lingo, meaning that the stage is in the middle. That's gonna be for the ice skating, the Absolute Zero, but the Aquadome is gonna have this incredible waterfall feature. This waterfall feature is gonna be right in the middle and looks epic. There's drawings out there, there's visuals that are coming out here soon. It's called Aquadome. Someone said Oprah Dome, Aqua, so A-Q-U-A Dome. And the waterfall feature is gonna be the huge thing right here. The Olympic size stadium is what they're kind of putting out there as. That's the first thing. Obviously, we've had aqua theaters in the past, never in a dome. It's always been in the back, the aft of the ship, the facing aft, and it's not anymore. Now, the other part is, like I said, Absolute Zero, that's gonna be in the round. That is the largest ice skating rink at sea. The best part about this is that it looks like the projections are gonna come from above down below. And meaning that the entire stadium can change themes, change, I guess aura, change the emotions and what the skating means in the entire stadium, which is absolutely epic, so cool. Those two things obviously have been seen in the past. They have new names and are bigger and better than ever. The world's largest ice skating rink at sea, and then the Aquadome, which is the first ever dome feature with a waterfall feature. For pools, there are gonna be 7 pools, 9 whirlpools, all of which have ocean views. I think that's key. There's a lot of swimming pools out there. There's a lot of whirlpools out there, and it's really hard to see the ocean. So I'm glad that they put that in there. That's gonna be ocean view. The cool things are some of the first. The first one, Hideaway. This Hideaway pool is the first suspended pool at sea. It is an infinity pool. This one is 65 feet high on deck 15. I think that is incredible. That is going to be one of the features that people are gonna love to be at, and it is the first suspended pool at sea. Another one is gonna be Surfside Water's Edge. That is something that everyone has kind of seen in some of these initial renderings. That is taking the place of the Aqua Zone, Aqua Theater on the Oasis class ships. It's a family-friendly pool, and it's called Surfside Water's Edge. That is on deck 7 in the aft. That looks like it's gonna be one of those family-friendly spaces that they're really going out on a ledge, because obviously a lot of times people buy those suites in the aft for the aft-facing views, epic shows at night in the Aqua Theater, and now it's gonna be a kids park. It's gonna be interesting to see what people think about that. I wanna hear comments in the chat here and in the video below of what you think for this whole Surfside Water's Edge. It almost feels to me like they're doing a Surfside Beach feel for that entire place that used to be the boardwalk. Very interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it myself yet, to be honest with you. I really love the Aqua Theater there, but I think the Aquadome is gonna be a really good change up to ensure the show can actually go on in more inclement weather situations, where currently, if there's any kind of weather out there whatsoever, it's really hard to have the Aqua show go on, and that is a big problem. A lot of people aren't able to see shows in the Aqua Theater currently on Oasis class every once in a while, just because of inclement weather or just a little windy. That's it. So I think that's gonna help big time there. Getting back to the pools though, we gotta go to Royal Bay. So this is just gonna be the largest pool at sea, and this is on deck 15. This has got 40,000 gallons. 40,000 gallons, so it's gonna be the world's largest pool. Definitely hoping that that pool does not get compromised, because that's gonna be a long time to refill that pool. But I'm so excited to take a soak in the world's largest pool at sea. Law Jones asked, not aft rooms at all. There are gonna be aft facing rooms. We'll get into some of the new features of the rooms. I think one of them is gonna be very controversial. There are gonna be aft facing rooms. It's just the fact that they won't have that Aqua Theater. Instead, they'll have that family zone. I'm curious to see what people are gonna think about that. Yeah, I see some of the comments in here. I'm not gonna say them out loud, but the next part here is gonna be the Cove Pool. This is deck 15, and it's an oceanfront infinity pool. So a little bit similar to what we've seen on some of the other ships. Infinity pools are the way of the future, the way that people want to vacation. Most resorts are going towards this as well. So this is just a way to really make sure that infinity style pools are where it's at. And this is no different. Cove Pool, deck 15, oceanfront infinity pool. This is different though. We obviously had the solarium back for all Royal Caribbean ships. Solarium is that adults only zone. 16 and up, adults only. Here, it's called Cloud 17. Now, this Cloud 17 area is adults only pool deck, deck 17, and it's called Cloud 17. It's 16 and up only. The interesting thing is, it's yet to be seen how large of a pool space this is for adults. Now, of course, we know the solarium on some ships can also be quite small. For example, Symphony Sea is one of our favorite ships ever. Has pretty smaller, intimate space for a pool, but it's an infinity pool itself, not over the ship, but in its own container. It's very interesting. The phone behind me does work, Mark the Shark, it does. But that is gonna be interesting to see how these infinity pools across everywhere work, as well as this adults only area, if it's gonna be big enough. But there's something to save us all, and I am stoked for this. It's called Swim and Tonic. Swim and Tonic is the largest swim up bar at sea. Now, this is something that I've always said. I've told Jordan this almost on every ship. I'm like, when are they gonna bring a swim up bar to these Royal Caribbean ships? Now, Jordan always tells me a good point here. Swim up bars have to be really hard at sea, because all it takes is a little motion in the ocean to get some water behind the bar. That ruins, of course, drinks, or ruins the things that make drinks, maybe some ice. I think they have a way to prevent this. I already see some of the, what's it called? I already see some parts of this pool being where it's a little raised out to where maybe if it is splashy, it's not gonna get over the bar, and there's some preventative measures here. Obviously, these are renderings, these are pictures. I don't think they're actually live shots of it, if I recall, so we'll have to see what it is. But oh my gosh, yeah, powerful female. I love the swim up bar idea as well. It looks epic. And of course, that's what everyone wants when they go to an all-inclusive on land. So we're really bringing the all-inclusive resort features to a cruise ship, the world's largest cruise ship with Icon of the Seas. I'm excited for that swim up bar, and Swim and Tonic is a great name for it as well. The last thing I have here for the pools is the Grove. Now this is gonna be the Suite Sun Deck. The Grove pool is for suites only. The Suite Sun Deck is 2 stories tall. So obviously if it's 2 stories tall, right? The Suite Sun Deck is 2 stories tall. You have a lot of space for, if you're in a suite, to lay out. But one thing we always want to know is, what about the water features here? And yes, there is a pool and there's a hot tub. That is going to be epic. One of those things that people hate is when they get a suite and they go to the Suite Sun Deck and it's just a sun deck, or the pool is as tiny as possible, or there is no pool and there's just a whirlpool We all know there are some other cruise lines out there that have that on recent new ships where the pool is super small on an exclusive area and we don't know why. So yes, thank you for the reminder, Mobuki. Don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you're still subscribed. We are so close to 30K subscribers, so we'd love to see 30K here with someone on this live. That'd be fantastic, or watching the replay. So those are the pools. Once again, 7 pools, 9 whirlpools, all ocean view, which is really important here. And some of the first there, the first suspended pool at sea, 65 feet up with hideaway pool, Surfside Waters Edge here, that family-friendly pool that is the first ever in the Royal Caribbean to be in that aft zone, taking over the Aqua Theater. I think that's gonna be awesome. And then the world's largest swim up bar at sea, gonna be incredible. So, a lot of talk about rooms. Let me talk about some of the room situation here. First and foremost, we're on Celebrity Eclipse right now. Celebrity Cruises invented this room first, from my knowledge. I have not seen this in any other cruise line to date, and that is the Infinite Verandas. If you're not familiar with what Infinite Veranda is a balcony room, but there is no actual balcony space. What does that mean? You don't have a door to open up and go out to your balcony, close the door behind you and sit on your balcony. An Infinite Veranda is where there's just a large glass window that is taking from floor to ceiling, and you push a button and half of the glass window comes down and makes your room into a balcony space. So of course, when you're talking about this Infinite Veranda on Celebrity Cruises, it's on the Edge class ship. So if you're ever interested in trying one out before Icon of the Seas comes here, you can do so. You can go and check one out on Celebrity Cruises, but it is coming to Icon of the Seas and it's called Infinite Balcony. These are very controversial. There are a lot of people that absolutely love them and will never ever cruise in another type of cabin when it's available. And then there's a lot of others that absolutely hate this type of balcony. They think that these are not true verandas and that are not great. Now, why we love them, just to give you our take here, Infinite Verandas or Infinite Balconies have 24% more space on the inside than a traditional balcony room. We love that. We love extra space. We work from our rooms, but also in the cooler climates, you can have the window down and really get that ocean breeze through your room, where it's really hard to do that in most veranda cabins. We absolutely love it. So that's one of the reasons why we love the Infinite Verandas, and now it's gonna be an Infinite Balcony. But there are a lot of people out there that want the balconies as well. From what we see, there's gonna be plenty of those on board the ship as well. So you don't have to fret. It's not gonna be the end of the world, but if you wanna try something new, they're gonna have Infinite Balconies available for you. Kind of like how they have the virtual balconies. They're not always there, you know, they have multiple options. Well, this one, you get your options. If you wanna try something new, you can, but if you don't like it, stick to what you love. So those are some of the things in the rooms. There's a lot more rooms out there, a lot more suite types. I was talking to Jordan, there's, oh my gosh, I think he said 35 room categories. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me, but it's like a lot of room categories where typically there's not nearly as many. So Mark the Shark, if you, all right, I'm gonna have to pause you, Mark the Shark. I'm so sorry, but you're kind of distracting from the conversation here. So you're in a little timeout here. I'm so sorry, but I don't know what's going on with you right now. I'm hoping everything's okay with you. Wishing you the best. All right, let's get on to the big feature that people don't know much about yet. That is the Pearl. The Pearl is this big new dome-like feature. I know you have the Aquadome and now you have this Pearl, and it's not known exactly what all is going to be in store for this. However, from rumors and from quick look at what could possibly be in there, it looks like it could be a ride of some sort. It doesn't make a total lot of sense for it not to be, to compete with some of the new cruise ships coming out there with rides being the focus point. You obviously know Disney Wish has one of their first new ever rides at sea, and obviously Carnival has a lot of their first new roller coasters at sea. So this makes sense. However, what will it be? Will it be a dark ride? Will it be kind of one of the first ever more dark rides at sea? I hope so. We will find out, I'm sure, within the next 48 hours or less, but that is going to be really exciting. The Pearl is something we look forward to. Some other things we don't know a lot about, but I want to make sure that you're aware of. There is this point and feather bar area that's on one of the main decks. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a brand new bar feature here. Who knows what exactly, but it sounds already kind of nice. Let's get into what we do know, and this is the water slides. So the water slide neighborhood is going to be really cool. It is called Category 6, and there are 6 slides here. It's going to be the largest water park at sea. So once again, the first, the largest, these are the words that Royal Caribbean is using for Icon of the Seas. Category 6 has 6 record-breaking slides, and we're gonna get to each one of them. The first one is Frightening Bolt. It's gonna be the tallest drop slide at sea. I mean, who doesn't like a drop slide? A lot of people. But for me, a drop slide is one of those things that a lot of teens and kids love and look forward to, as well as adults young at heart. Honestly, any thrill seekers love a drop slide. Of course, I'm not sure on how tall you have to be to ride these rides, but it's going to be a really cool one. The next one is Storm Surge. This is another first. First suspended family raft slide at sea. All right, so the first suspended family raft slide at sea. This one is going to be family friendly. This is up to 4 passengers in a raft. And it's not going to be something that's intense, right? This is going to be for the whole family, whereas there's going to be more raft features. For example, Storm Chasers is going to be, actually that's a little bit, that's a mat racing. Where's the other one here? Hurricane Hunter is the first family raft slide at sea. That one is going to not be suspended, but it is the first family raft ride at sea. And then there's 2 other ones I want to mention here. That's Storm Chasers. That's the first duo mat racing slides at sea. Lots of firsts. Almost all these are the first of something. And then Pressure Drop, the first open free fall slide at sea. I mean, what does free fall mean? From what it looks like, it means that it's completely open. So, you know, you just have a slide that's, well, I mean, that's kind of wild, but just open and just go straight down. At sea, I think that's gonna be a little bit more scary than on land. I know that's a very popular type of slide on land, but at sea, with all the wind and with all the motion, that's gonna be, I think, a popular one there as well. I'm trying to see if I forgot any. I think there's one more here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I miss one? I think there's one more, and I'll have to see, unless they're counting Storm Chasers as 2 separate ones, but I'll have to look into that. But another thing that's a little bit interesting and kind of competing with another cruise line out there, so I'm interested to see what your thoughts are, and we'll get into the chat here in a bit. I just want to get all this information out first. It's Crown's Edge. This is a test of bravery suspended high above the ocean, and what we're seeing from the pictures is that this is going to be, you know how the crown and anchor on the side of the ship, and it's just a big logo on the side. That's really it, but it's over on the pool deck, or I guess the deck above the pool deck, and it's usually right there, big logos, so you can really realize it's Royal Caribbean is the ship that you're on, or for anyone looking out. That logo is gonna have what looks like to be a zip line type feature. Now, who knows if this zip line is gonna be just a zip line, or if it's gonna be a little bit more perilous or like a challenge, but we all know recently there's another cruise line out there that has something similar to it where you are ziplining over the water. Obviously, we know with the Oasis class, you zipline over the boardwalk all the way up. I can't remember how many stories it is technically, but it's the same amount of stories as the Great Abyss or the Ultimate Abyss. That is potentially now gonna be a shorter feature, a shorter version across the crown on the outside edge of that logo, and it's gonna be almost like a zipline-esque, feature. I don't know how to put it yet because we can just see pictures, so it looks like a zip line, but we don't want to say it's a zip line without knowing for sure, and that one is not telling everything right there. So this is Icon of the Seas. Icon of the Seas is going to be a brand new class. This is not a class that's ever been seen before. It's called the Icon class, and it is going to be epic. Maybe I should say iconic. Thank you again for all the thumbs up and for the love here and the subscribes. The big thing here, and what I want to get into the chats, is what are we excited about, and what are the things that we are, well, kind of a little bit iffy about? You know, what are the things that we're missing or maybe want to make sure is still on this ship to make it a fantastic and Royal Caribbean ship? There are a lot of the favorites still on board I didn't get into there, of course. You have the casino, you have all these things that are very tried and true. The theater's still there. You don't have to worry about no theater. Exploring with Eric said, I'm excited about the new suites. Tony G said, this sounds like it may make the new Utopia a bit boring. Yes, Tony, I don't say boring, but I will say, I wonder if it's going to take the thunder, you know, kind of like how Wonder of the Seas did with Odyssey. I feel like Wonder kind of took over the thunder of Odyssey. Paul said, excited? A group cruise. Yeah, group cruise would be amazing. We'll see what we can do. I know there's going to be a lot of people wanting to book this immediately. Nikki said, excited about the new room categories in the pools. Yeah, lots of new room categories, lots to choose from. Who's interested in this infinity balcony? Infinite balcony, I should say, not infinity. I keep talking about infinity pools, so you know it's easy to say infinity for everything, but who's excited about infinite balconies and who wants just a regular balcony? Let us know in the chats here. Paul, do they list the restaurants? So, from what we see so far, almost all the restaurants are ones we've seen before. However, I wouldn't put it past Royal Caribbean to put one in there last minute, or maybe even two. We know with Wonder of the Seas, they put one in there kind of last minute, and it changed over time. It wasn't gonna be what it originally was supposed to be. At least that's the rumor. Obviously, we don't know for sure everything in the background of what happens with Royal Caribbean, but I will say this, we are excited for this new class. A new cruise ship is always a good thing. That means cruising is alive and well, and there's enough demand out there in the public for new stuff and new ships that they're gonna constantly bring and invest in new ships into the future. Ellie said, watch a video the other day about how the ship is being built. It was fascinating. Yes, they have. Royal Caribbean has these videos out there. You can go and watch it, and I think there's 3 out there so far. And it's just the process of building this brand new world-class ship. Definitely recommend it as well. Okay, Powerful Female says, don't hate me, but I like that the kid pool is separate in the back. Interesting. So I'm intrigued to learn more about that. I agree with you as someone who never gets the aqua suites in the aft or facing aft. I really feel like I don't even need to go to the aft anymore because that's all the kids in one place. But as someone once told us that they love the aft suites because of the aqua shows and the wake and that it's always a good time. I wonder if those people are gonna have less of an interest there. Also, we're 3 away here from 100. Thank you for the thumbs up. I wonder who's gonna be number 100. Beachy Mama says, I agree as well. So that's interesting to know. I'm really glad to hear this side of you because that is the thing I think most people were worried about with those initial renderings. Beachy Mama, Utopia is supposed to be a whole new experience. Yeah, Utopia, of course, is in the Oasis class. It's the final ship of that class, but even Wonder of the Seas felt like an upgraded version of an Oasis class ship. Lots of new stuff on there, so I completely agree there. Is there going to be loft suites? I have to double check. I don't want to finalize or say something, but I believe I saw them. But I'll have to go back and check. And all this will come out here within the next 48, 72 hours. I'm just giving you the news as it's breaking. Exploring with Eric, no go on the balcony or the suite option on the infinite balcony or infinite suites. Completely understand, lots of people agree with you. We, of course, love them and we will be partaking in the infinite balconies. Hopefully that means that they'll be a little cheaper for us, but I'm sure not. Michelle says, regular balcony for me. Perfect. Q's Cruises says, I'll take any balcony. True. Any type of balcony is better than no balcony, right? Pia Broderick, regular balcony as well. Law Jones says, aft or loft or Azel. Pilar says, the restaurants, will they have a Central Park, 150 Central Park? You know what? I can't recall now if that was on the list, but I believe so because there is a Central Park. So since there is a Central Park, I would assume that that was on there, but now this is all coming fresh. I'll have to double check for you. I don't want to make that finite and then it's not there. But I know a lot of the favorites. I remember Giovanni's was on that list as well. So a lot of the favorites are there, and 150 Central Park's a favorite. I definitely think that Royal Caribbean knows that's a great one. Paul says infinite balcony would be good for a solo cabin. I'm in if that's the case. True. And here's the thing, itineraries matter too. When we did our transatlantic on Celebrity Edge, it was perfect weather for an infinite veranda because you got all the ocean breeze when it was nice and cool outside, coming into your cabin, fresh air, even while you're working in the middle of the day. I loved it for that, as well as the additional space. It's 24% more room space. I'm not for sure if that's the exact percentage for Royal Caribbean yet, but that is how it is on Celebrity Cruises. So they're obviously adding them for a reason. There's enough people that love them. that they figured out that it would be fine. Andrew Lubar said, I am number 100. Andrew, thank you for being the 100th person to hit the thumbs up. And look at that, we already have 113 thumbs up. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Lady Kiwa says, regular balcony is more for me. Completely understand, totally fine with that. But the fresh air and sounds of the sea, like La Jones said, is really nice as well. Jared Brody says, swim up bar on the ship is gonna be lit. I agree. I think that is one of the highlights for me. I know it's gonna be completely overtaken by the Pearl. Obviously, people are gonna be obsessed with this Pearl. They have already been. The building of the ship, that's been one thing that's been well known, right? Is that this big dome-like feature is gonna be on the ship and you can see it. And so a lot of people were wondering what it's gonna be. And if it is what we believe it could be, which is a dark ride or some kind of ride that is the first ride at sea of its kind, that is obviously going to take the cake. We saw that with Carnival, with the Mardi Gras, the roller coaster, the first roller coaster to see. That was the thing everyone wanted to know and ride first. So I could see it being one of those, and if it is, I'm sure that's going to get the most press out here. But I think that swim up bar, I agree with you. It's going to be one of those features that's going to have the biggest impact for satisfaction, because people don't like to get out of the pool, grab their drink, and come back. And I know this is a hot topic for anyone that's in Europe. I know we have learned a lot that cultures are different with swimming and drinking in the US, North America, and versus Europe. Europe does not believe, for most part, in drinking and swimming at the same time. It is a different cultural thing, so that's something to know if you are someone from the States. That'll be interesting. Once it goes over there, what's gonna happen? Is that gonna be an empty pool because people don't believe in it? Is it gonna be full of just Americans? I don't know. A lot to talk about there. And obviously that's a generalization of what the overall culture is for Mediterranean cruises and Europe cruises. Obviously not everyone has to believe that same way. Michelle, question, I didn't catch the beginning. Where are you? New Zealand, Australia, on the way back to USA? Good question, Michelle. We are in the middle of the ocean, so it's a sea day here, and we're leaving New Zealand, going to Sydney, and then we're gonna take a cruise out of Sydney all around New Zealand. So we're just a part of the way through our travels of the Southern Hemisphere here, but we absolutely love it. Q's Cruisers, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for always keeping us in the loop. Miss you guys, can't wait for the Vloggers Cruise. Oh, thank you, Q's. We really appreciate any support like that. It's so nice of you to do that. And here's the thing. We already released a video today about Beer Spa, which was one of our favorite experiences of all time. If you did not see it, go check it out. But when this came out, I was like, we have to talk about it. You know, with us being a unique viewpoint here in the industry, we have to talk about the exciting features for us. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of content coming out there from a lot of creators, but everyone has their unique point of view. So go watch. For example, Q's Cruisers are other great content creators. So if you're not familiar, go watch Q's Cruisers content as well as so many others that will come out here. I know Cruiser and JT, I think he released something just a little bit ago about this. I think Travel Spree is gonna be announcing something soon, or they're talking about potentially going on Icon of the Seas. Obviously, none of us can book yet. And if you can, let me know the secret. But it's gonna be interesting. Thank you, Q's. It was a great vlog. Thank you so much. We absolutely loved our time in Beer Spa. So, you know, if you want to have a really good recommendation for excursion, go check that out. Cardi Davis, Jay, what are you most looking forward to on the Icon? Excuse me, I'm gonna grab a drink here too, but what am I most looking forward to on Icon? I think there are three things. I'm gonna make it to three things. First, like Jared Brody said, I really feel like that swim up bar, I wanna support it as much as possible and know that Royal Caribbean is doing the right thing there. Because that's something that I've said on almost every ship of Royal Caribbean, of Carnival, of any cruise line out there. Why aren't we doing swim up bars? Once again, Jordan talks about the water and it might not be sanitary. So I'm interested to see how they do it, but I wanna support it as much as possible. Another thing, I wanna see what the Pearl is all about. Obviously there's all this marketing out there. One second, let me go ahead and put this down. I'm gonna put this on the ping pong table. I'll put this right here. Perfect. I'm gonna grab a quick drink. But the Pearl is something that so many people are excited about, and they don't. The third thing, excuse me, that I'm stoked about is seeing all the new things they can do, honestly, with the Aquadome. That Aquadome looks like it's gonna be huge. I think they're going to be able to do more because they don't have to worry about weather. And I think they're going to do more of a Cirque du Soleil type of performance. Happen because it just cuts it out. YouTube's great like that. So with that in mind, those are the three. The Aquadome, just because I want to see the type of shows that are in there. That's some of my favorite things with Royal Caribbean. The Oasis and that Aqua show in the Aqua Theater is so unique and it's so cool to see someone dive from a high dive, as well as see someone do their own style of talent and performance. And whatever it is that they're doing in the water, dancing or acrobats, and also like a high wire act, like all these things are so cool. So I can't wait to see how it changes with a dome feature. The Pearl's the second one, just don't know enough about it, but if it is what we think it could be, that could be really cool. Could be overrated, but I think it'll be really cool. And then the third thing is that swim up bar. I think those are the three things right now. Obviously the suite deck looks amazing and looks fantastic. The suspended pool is going to be amazing. The water slides, category 6 water park, the largest water park at sea, is going to be fantastic. But for someone who just likes to have a nice drink and soak, that swim up bar is where it's at for me. Let's see here. Carletta Jordan said, so ready to be in this webinar. Hey guys, yes. I mean, first of all, I think you're talking about the webinar that's talking about Icon of the Seas that's coming up for travel agents. We're going to be on that as well. But if you are talking about what I'm doing, it is kind of like a webinar, right? It is alive. There are pictures out there. In fact, I believe Cruising with JT got some of these shots here. So if you want to see actual pictures, go check out Cruising with JT or any other content creators that have that out there. They were on the public page. They took them down, of course, because I think it was just a little bit too quick for them. They wanted to have this great reveal a little bit later. But the pictures are epic. And when you see them in the next 48 hours or 72 hours, whatever it is, you will see some epic, epic pictures. Let's see here. Marianne said there's a little bit of bad weather just out of Sydney. A couple of crews are being redirected, so be prepared. We did hear that. We haven't heard that for our cruise yet. So maybe we will come in just a little bit late enough to where it won't matter, but who knows. Law Jones, Icon class has the extra stability of the part below stern. Swim bar will be more stable. Yeah, that's a good point. And that, here's the thing. Whatever they can do to make this possible a reality, I'm here for it. So whatever engineering needs to happen, whatever they need from us as guests, I'm excited for it. Morgan said, did they say anything about the Pearl? So once again, the Pearl is that one that is so much high marketing of the unknown, right? It's like into the unknown, What we know is that they put a lot of money and effort into making this the highlight and focus. What is rumored is different from what's known. And so I can't say this is what it's going to be, but the rumors out there is that it could be some sort of ride or dark ride feature to compete with other cruise lines out there that have some kind of ride out there, whether it's a water ride for Disney, Wish, or whether, Carnival Mardi Gras obviously has an incredible roller coaster at sea and the first at sea. You obviously have an incredible go-kart track on NCL Prima. There's just so many new and futuristic things coming on board these ships. So whatever's in the Pearl, I'm excited to see, but that is the rumor. Don't know that yet. They have not released that information for sure. There is going to be that kind of almost like zipline feature, it looks like, outside. And what is that called again? It's called Crown's Edge, and that's going to be on the logo. So that's going to be really cool. But thank you so much, Q's, for that. Just some thoughts, but thank you so much. Any mention of solo cabins? So Paul, I have to go back and check the cabin lists and categories. We will learn all about it in detail here very soon. We have webinars here on our side as TAs. As a reminder, we are travel agents, so we can book Icon rooms. So if you ever need that, let me know. Happy to help. Exploring with Eric, super chat in the house. Thanks for all the great information you guys provide for all of us here on the tube. Looking forward to seeing you guys in a few weeks on the Celebration Transatlantic. Yes, we're so excited to see you there as well. And thank you so much for that super chat. We really appreciate it. We are so stoked for this ship. Both Carnival Celebration, of course, we're going to be on the Transatlantic, the very first sailing here of Carnival's new ship Celebration. But today, I'm stoked for Icon. I think Icon of the Seas is having its moment. It makes you wonder, with the release of Icon of the Seas, are they wanting to take a little bit of speed off of Celebration? Speculation here, of course. But I think no matter what, there's a lot of excitement for both cruise lines. And at the end of the day, this is why I said at the beginning, I'm gonna say this again, new cruise ships like this are important for the cruise industry. Why? It shows that cruises are doing well, that the demand is high enough that cruise lines will invest in new ships every year and invest in new classes and new capabilities, new futuristic rides and technology. That is all great news for us. That is great news for cruisers around the world. So we should all celebrate every new ship release, whether it's NCL Prima, Celebrity Beyond, obviously Carnival Celebration in a few weeks, or Icon of the Seas coming out later. All of these, Celebrity Ascent, someone mentioned out there as well. All of these are incredible. I know Carnival Jubilees coming out as well. Everything is going to be fantastic. Yeah, the elevator chiming in the back makes me miss being on a ship bad. I hear you. It's those types of like sounds and movements that you're like, that's what it's like being on sea again. We try to give as much as possible. Let me show this around here while I get some more questions, just to show where I'm looking at here. So we have this beautiful glass class here on Celebrity Eclipse, and this glass class has some beautiful artwork. So this is some of the artwork that's displayed here. I love this one because it's old. Thank you so much on page. Today, you would still have first dibs here on our group cruise we just announced to our Patreon community. So if you do join our Patreon here today, you still have a chance. And there's already, I want to say there's 10 rooms already booked just from our Patreon community alone. So it's going to be a really great sailing. We haven't even released it to the public what it's going to be yet, but we will in the upcoming days. So definitely join Patreon and let us know if you're interested in booking that. Lod Jones, local amusement park has a 360 movie theater. It makes you feel like you were really there. Maybe that's the Pearl ride. Ooh, like that same thing, and it is incredible. One of our favorite things. I have probably more information than I do now. I would at least know for sure what the Pearl is. However, that's not true. We also know Matt with the Royal Caribbean blog. He's definitely someone that should have the most information, and even he doesn't have everything yet. So someone says it's buffering. So let me kind of move around here and make sure that we get some really good Wi-Fi signal here. If there are any other questions regarding Icon of the Seas, we did just go through a lot of the information. So now I'm just answering questions as well as talking about the ship I'm on, which is Celebrity Eclipse, which is on its way to Sydney from New Zealand. This is a first for Celebrity since the restart. This is the restart of Australia cruises. Celebrity Eclipse, you can just take it in right there. All the people enjoying the pool deck. It is a little bit rocky, so there's not as many people in the background in the pool, and it's a little bit chilly outside, so that's why. Andrew said that we're buffering and in slow motion, so we'll move around here. Just want to give some views here, if possible. I'm really glad the ping pong table isn't in use right now. The one on the other side is. Maybe I'll go in the Long Club Grill, see if it, opens up. If you want to see where I had all my notes, I literally have been transcribing all my notes since we only have limited Wi-Fi here. This is all the notes for everything that we talked about today. Maybe take a screenshot if you can read my chicken scratch to see all of it, but there's going to be a lot more coming here. Thank you so much, Julie Norman, for that here. Going to keep on walking around, see if we can get a little bit better video content here. Actually, I'm going to go down. Maybe that'll help to get out of the wind and a little bit more central in the ship. Is there anything anyone wants to see? I know you're probably having trouble seeing anything right now just because of the Wi-Fi, but if there's anything, happy to help with anything else cruise related for the next 15 minutes. Obviously, we did have a video release today. Yes, Nikki, my notebook is commitment. You know what? This is our job. We want to give you the cruise news here. We want to be able to give you all the stuff that we need. And so it's, we love it. We absolutely love it. We're also geeked out about it. Everything Icon of the Seas is, well, it's what we're excited about. So we can't wait to book it. Who knows with bookings what will be possible and what won't be possible. Let me see if I find a little nook over here. Can't tell if someone's sitting here or not. It might be a perfect Wi-Fi spot. I don't think anyone is. Nope. Okay, perfect. So let me know if any questions come up. I think this is a little bit better connection right here. Let me know if it is not. Hopefully it's a little bit better. and a little bit of a throne here. Not on purpose, it's just what is available. Pilar, how many days are you at sea for? That's a good question. We are only for 2 more sea days before getting to Sydney, so this is one of 2. And then after Sydney, we will have another 2 sea days and another day through a sound, Milford Sound to be exact. So it'll be epic. It'll be a sea day. But hey, Nancy Dow, hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Nikki said, audio is great for me, but video is slow. Sorry about that. Only limited things we can do about that, but I appreciate you letting me know about that. Let's see here. Watching his eyes is fun, Law Jones. Yeah, right, with all these glasses too coming in here. Sorry, all this information came pretty quick and I had to jot it down and go live with you right away. So I didn't even get time to shave here, so sorry about that. Teresa and Ray's in the house as well. Hello, Teresa and Ray. So glad you're able to join us. So once again, Icon of the Seas is going to be fantastic. It looks epic. I think the controversial places here, they're going to be the aft of the ship, the part that used to be the boardwalk, which is now I think called Surfside something, Surfside neighborhood, being all family back there. I think it's going to be interesting to see what those suites are going to be like, or those aqua class rooms. I don't know what's going to happen with those. Are those going to be family suites now? Or is it going to be really family heavy in the back now? Yet to be seen. Obviously, we have to know about, what about the pools? There are, for example, was it Cloud 17, the adults only area? The pool doesn't look huge. Whether or not that's true or not, maybe it's bigger in person than it is what we see currently. It'll be interesting. 7 pools sounds great, but the size does matter. Is this going to be a ship where really the pools aren't the feature, it's just the amount of them? I hope not. I hope that the pools have some good size. We obviously have the world's largest swimming pool, but hopefully that's not the only large one. Hopefully there's some other large ones out there to really get a good vibe in and not be overcrowded for such a large ship. See the World with Chris. Do you have a website link you have this info on? So a lot of this info came from Royal Caribbean's page. However, it was public for just a few minutes and then went off. So this is stuff that will be shared publicly, even more so on Royal Caribbean site here within 48 hours. Don't worry about it. It's coming soon. Just want to give you a sneak peek, get you excited, because I know we're going to geek out together, you know? Do you know yet, will the ship sail from and to what ports? We do not. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of chat out there. The earliest we've heard is mid-October. We also know that there's some information out there for potential porting at the end of October in St. Martin. However, all these things are just rumors, or things that are scheduled, but doesn't necessarily have to happen. We also know that the release date isn't technically supposed to be until end of December, and some places it says early 2024. So it really we don't know. That's why I don't want to give you any finite dates. It can be anywhere and everywhere. Obviously, for someone like us, we're just like you. We want to know everything. We want to know and prepare. And one thing I can say right away is that always makes us a little anxious, because we want to make sure we're on board Icon of the Seas as soon as possible. But we already have a very packed Q4 and Q3 next year. So it's going to be interesting to see, do we have to cancel a cruise or a couple cruises so we can go on this? We'll have to see. See the World with Chris. Yeah. So yeah, the person that released this information, I don't know who the person or team is. I'm sure it's a team. I'm not thinking it's a person, but I think it was released just overnight, maybe as a test, and it did go public instead of just be a test on the internal side. But this was all public information. This is nothing that's behind the scenes, nothing that only we can see or only hear from someone. This is all public information that was shared publicly and then not retracted, but definitely put back in private. Old solarium pools were small, but it was ice cold salt water, made all swelling in your body. Sorry. Ease, perfect anti-inflammatory. For the solarium pools, some of those saltwater pools, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they have any of those saltwater pools on board Icon of the Seas. I agree with you that is something that was seen in a lot of older ships. And even I think Harmony of the Seas had a saltwater pool for the adult pool at one point when we went. I don't know if it still is today, but I thought it was still. We'll have to see. We're going to go on Harmony of the Seas pretty soon here, so we'll have to see that. Now, a lot of people are asking when you can book. We don't know for sure, but right now it's being said a lot, and it's very, very consistent, is October 25th for bookings. Don't know, midnight, 6 a.m., 8 a.m., noon, if it's public facing, just with a travel agent, what. So just know, we don't know for sure. There's also the release of information coming here very soon here, I believe 2022. So obviously that's coming here very shortly. But we'll see what all happens with that release. If it's just info release and bookings come later, we'll see. Exploring with Eric, would you believe those prices that were put out earlier this morning for reference? I know what you're talking about here. If I recall, the one that I saw was for April 2024. If that's true, I don't think I would believe those prices, because I think those prices would have just been a boilerplate, if you will, or a placeholder for what prices would be. I don't think it was actual pricing, if that makes sense. You know, I think it's all web design right now, and I think that's why something happened, is because when you do web design, you do all these tests, making sure stuff work, but usually do it in a private setting, so that way it's not open to the public, and you can make sure it's perfect before it's released. That's why I think it was just a test that not unfortunately, I think it's great, because we obviously found a lot of stuff. We're getting excited about this. I think that's what happened. Let's see here. No, Beachy Mama. Harmony does not have a pool in the solarium, but it has an adults-only pool on the pool deck. It's one of the reasons why we love Harmony of the Seas, because it's in the main pool zone. That's what I was talking about there. The pool that's not in the solarium, but it is an adults-only pool. I believe that one, if I'm not mistaken, was saltwater when we went. But yes, you were correct. It's not in the solarium. It is adults only, though, and it is on the main pool deck. And we really love that. It's a good change up, because some of the solariums are really hot and stuffy. And so we like having a pool with everyone else, with the beach music, the Caribbean vibes. We love that. Nikki, I'm already on Jubilee's inaugural, so I hope there won't be too much overlap. I know, we understand, we have lots planned for next year, but at the same time, I do think there's going to be some competition here. I don't know if it would be the exact same dates. I feel like that would be a little too much, but I think it will be competitive, and it also just depends on when they can deliver the ship. Tony G, question, unrelated. I have the key for group cruise. Do I still need to get a check-in time? That's a good question, Tony. Believe it or not, we have not done the key ourselves, so I would not want to lead you astray. I would always do a check-in time, just so you have it. I'm always the over planner, so maybe don't rely on having to have it, but just do it for your sake of knowing that you're good to go. I think a quick call to Royal Caribbean will be okay. Let me ask Jordan too. He might know, because I know he's probably had some clients have used it. Honestly, I haven't, and none of my clients ever used the key for that, so I'm not sure. Beachy Mama, hot tubs, but no pool. Yes, for the solarium on Harmony. Yes, and some people love that. Actually, some people really like that there wasn't a pool, because it really limited the amount of people that were in there at all times. I thought the pool needs to be in the solarium, but I'm glad that there was an adults pool on the pool deck. Oh, Beachy Mama, you're going for the first time in November 2023. Yes, so you weren't even aware. There is an adults only pool, but it's on the main pool deck, so definitely search it out. It's nice. It's kind of funny though, because the lifeguards, their number one duty for that pool, making sure kids don't jump in and get out if they do. But having an incredible time on Harmony of the Seas, that'll be fantastic. All right, Icon of the Seas, any last questions here? Before we sign off, I got about another 4 or 5 minutes here. Thank you so much for everyone to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also for all the super chats out there, really appreciate it. But I definitely want to make sure that all Icon of the Seas information is handled here. Explain with it. Did they already give you guys a desk on Celebrity Laugh Out? Just kidding. You know what? I'll show this here. It's actually just me and nobody in this other chair, but that's this exact chair that I'm in. It's kind of got a nook and a bookcase. Just trying to find the best Wi-Fi possible, more interior here. Nikki W, question, is there a hot tub in Harmony Solarium? Yeah, I believe so. If I remember right, there was a hot tub there, but if I'm not correct there, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there's a hot tub and no pool, and that was what kind of was confusing to us. But it's been a while. We will be back soon, so we'll do a full ship tour, and we'll definitely let you know there. But if anyone knows for sure, go ahead and put it in here. Dan RBC, family slides and a swim bar on the ship both sound insane. I agree. Brad Jackson, always great information. Thank you so much, Brad. You have done a great job. Your assignment is contagious from Law Jones.